Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you are doing great. Got a great story out of Newsweek, and it's talking about plunging real estate prices. Now remember, the higher they go up, the harder they fall, if that's the right term. What also is important to note that real estate cycles always start to fall in the cities that grew the fastest, the first, and the highest, okay? So you'll start seeing Austin and other places collapsing in price. And like in 2007, Las Vegas started to take a header before a lot of places, California shortly following, because they grew the fastest, the earliest. They hit the peak where people are like, this is crazy town, I'm not buying this house, okay? So the story out of Newsweek about California condo prices plunging in San Francisco, they're now worth less than a decade ago. That's unbelievable. They are now worth less than pre-COVID, when everybody thinks, well, that's when the bubble started, right? I mean, that's because the markets were actually having trouble, real estate markets in 2018, 2019, and they were stagnant. A lot of people didn't realize that because they were just going along about their normal life. But when COVID came, they saw the headlines, everything screaming up, people leaving large metropolitan areas, buying out in suburbs, different states, and all that stuff. But you actually have a crisis now that is actually worse than certain places. I'll give you an example. Austin is now down 30% off of its highs. Now, to give you some examples of this, or some idea of how bad it is, all of 2008, the whole great financial crisis, the Great Recession, homes nationwide fell about 8.5%. Median price versus, average sales price nationwide. So you see places with 30% down, places that are now worth less than a decade ago in San Francisco. This is actually worse, and get ready, it's coming to all over the country. So check this out. Oh, and before we do this, I'm gonna announce that deal. I've never made this deal before. We just ran it for like 9 hours the other day. We'll do a 24-hour deal on this. The Real Estate Cycles course, the Real Estate Media Master course, and Credit Score Pro course, all of them combined for $199. That's over 90% off. I've never done it, but there are so many people, students of mine, and if you're a student, let them know down below, that are saying it's important that more and more people get this information. I have a different way of teaching. And so I'll tell you what, if after, within 14 days, if you watch less than 50% of the content, you go, this isn't going to change my life. I'm not going to make at minimum 10 times more than I paid for this course. Probably end up making 100x if I put this stuff to work over the next few years, then I'll give you your money back. Okay? Because this is the point now when everything's tanking. Check this out. Out of Newsweek, despite recent signs that San Francisco is on a path to economic recovery, condos in the city are yet to make a comeback as several sellers are still slashing their asking prices to attract reluctant buyers. In one of my courses, I actually talk specifically about condos and a special condo cycle that's very important to understand when to buy and when to sell them. As of Tuesday morning, there were a total of 687 condos listed for sale on real estate marketplace Zillow in San Francisco. Of these, 87 had price reductions, over 12% of all listings. Vacation rental investor Robin Dahar, who often shares Zillow listings with dramatic price cuts on social media X, formerly Twitter, wrote about a one-bedroom condo unit in downtown San Francisco. It was recently sold for $680,000, which is down from the sum of $825,000 that it fetched when it was purchased in 2015. So think about that. From 2015, all now, including this massive rise nationwide in real estate prices, it has actually lost value. It says here the Zillow listing shows that the asking price for the property, which was sold on August 7th, was reduced 4 times by the seller since the property was put up for sale in May this year for an initial asking price of $750,000, already much less than its 2015 price. The condo was built in 2009. The Homeowners Association fees are $707 a month. This is absolutely groundbreaking information. Once you start seeing that these pockets around the country are starting to implode, and to give you an idea, I almost bought a property back in 2002 on Lombard Street, that famous street that's got all the zigzags. It was a condominium, or I'm sorry, a duplex. And I ended up not buying it. Mrs. Ninja did not want me buying places in San Francisco, but I thought it'd be a great repair rehab job, right? But it was depressed. The price was hurting so bad and reeling after the .com bubble. Everybody was bailing out of San Francisco. Now, if I would have bought that property, I would have tripled my money in the matter, you know, repairing it and doing all that stuff in a matter of about 4 years. And that was amazing. That would have been an amazing return. But the point being is that these cities go through cycles. The nation goes through cycles. And real estate cycles are something that very few people understand or can comprehend unless they're explained in an easy, digestible format. Your real estate agent doesn't understand it. Your broker, loan broker, does not understand this because it's never been taught. It's never been realized. And it's very few times, and I was really blessed to go through those cycles because, you know, I sold my stocks right before the .com crash. I had a couple take me down a little. I took some losses on a few, but I moved my retirement before that, right, into a bond fund. And I was able to crush it as the stock market came down. Well, then when interest rates came down, and I saw real estate prices diving down too, I said, this is an amazing opportunity. And so I started buying, fixing, and flipping, also buying long-term rentals. And then I was refinancing on the way down as the Fed kept slashing rates. I'm refinancing, my cash flow is exploding. But then on the flip side, when they started to raise rates, and you've all just seen it right now, you've seen what's happening to the velocity of transactions nationwide. They're coming to an absolutely grinding halt. As a matter of fact, last year, all of 2023, the same amount of homes were sold as all of the year of 2008. And think about this. That's when we were in the thick of it. Lehman Brothers was going down. Bear Stearns had closed its doors. Everything was going to crap in a handbasket. That's that blow off top that you're not seeing right now because a few people are believing a narrative that real estate's actually going to keep going up. Well, if you just ask yourself, well, how's it going to keep going up? That means there would have to be more jobs. That's not happening. Unemployment's going up. There would have to be increases in wages. That's not keeping up with inflation right now. So people do not have more money and they don't have more jobs. So that means we're going to have more of a crash. It's actually quite simple when you think about it, but there's also a lot of really cool intricacies in these cycles that once you understand it, you understand why people like Warren Buffett sell all their stocks right before the Great Recession and how he's doing it right now. Or when big funds start leveraging or selling, their real estate properties. That's been in the news too. So things like this, where you see San Francisco condo prices plunging more, they're worth less than an entire decade ago. Well, quite frankly, you know the end is nigh. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Look, I made that deal. I've never sold these three courses together. I've never sold them for over 90% off. You get the Real Estate Cycles course, the Real Estate Media Master course, and the Credit Score Pro course all together for $199. If within 14 days, you watch it again and you're like, this ain't gonna change my life. I'll tell you what, I believe if you use this, not only are you gonna save or make 10x what you paid for the course, but I think for those of you that are really ready to take action, you're gonna easily be able to turn around and go, I made over 100x on that course. And that's not $1 million goal. I'm telling you, start looking at the little bits of information that are gonna change your life. If it doesn't, I'll give you your money back. The Economic Ninja is out.